The first update we have today is about Real Housewives of New Jersey's Joe Gorga confirming that his sister Teresa Giudice actually reached out to him about maybe finally reconciling. So Joe was on this podcast, right? The Eds. And he confirmed, yeah, Teresa texted him. She apparently wants to sit down, meet up, and try to move forward after all this long-running family drama. And Joe, well, he's open to it. He described himself as a good brother and said he doesn't want to hold on to a grudge forever. You know, he talked about being an example, avoiding all this nonsense arguing, kind of like how if nobody ever made up, there'd never be a ceasefire, ever. But, okay, there's a bit of a catch. Joe made it clear, while he will hear her out, the conversation really needs to come from a very humble place. He needs her to acknowledge that she made mistakes. He even admitted it took him a minute to agree because, well, she has done some horrific things to him. But then he quickly added, "It's okay, we forgive." He also brought up his wife, Melissa Gorga. Joe illuminates that she has a heart of gold, and apparently she's forgiven Teresa so many times. He really seems to respect her for listening to him and loving their family through it all. And maybe most importantly, their kids. Joe stressed they never say anything negative about Teresa around them. It's always, "That's your aunt, go say hi, go see her." They're absolutely committed to not putting their children in the middle of this adult argument. Before we get into the next update, I need to check in with you all. If you're enjoying our little tea session, take a millisecond to hit the like button and subscribe to join the best reality TV community on YouTube. Done? Let's move on to next update now.
Next, we are going to talk about the recent split between reality TV star Ariana Byerman and her longtime boyfriend, Hudson McCloy. So Ariana, who's 23 and Kim Zolciak's daughter, actually confirmed this breakup herself over on her Instagram story. This was back on October 14th. She basically said they decided to go their separate ways because, you know, it's what's best for us right now. Now, this all comes just a few months after Ariana admitted she kinda gave Hudson a marriage ultimatum. They had moved to New York City together earlier in 2024, and we saw some of that play out on the first season of Next Gen NYC. Remember, these two started dating way back in high school, then they split for a bit around 2020 when Ariana had a brief romance with Aaron Scott, and then eventually got back together. Okay, so about that ultimatum. Back in August, Ariana talked to Bravo's The Daily Dish about her 5-year rule. Apparently, she got this advice from her mom, Kim, who basically told her, if he doesn't propose after 5 years, then you're already doing too many wife duties. Well, for Ariana and Hudson, that 5-year deadline was actually less than 2 years away. So yeah, you could say the pressure was definitely building. Right now, there's no word about whether Next Gen NYC is getting a second season or not. So this was today's update about Ariana Byerman and Hudson McClory's breakup following a marriage ultimatum. Let's now move on to next update.
Okay, next we are going to talk about the really dramatic confrontation happening between Katie Rost and Ashley Darby from Real Housewives of Potomac. So, this whole thing kind of blew up after Katie made this, let's just say, wild sexual claim about Ashley in a social media post, which, by the way, she later deleted. And Ashley's response? Swift and strong denial. It all kicked off when Katie, who's 45, shared this post on X. You probably saw the screenshots. She claimed that she and Ashley, who's 37, had sex. And, get this, she kind of mixed this claim up with other stuff, like saying she loves Wendy Osefo, and even referencing Wendy's recent arrest situation. It was a lot. She also threw in something about Ashley allegedly insulting her on TV. Well, Ashley Darby reacted super fast. She jumped online and shut it right down, saying it was false all the way around. Ashley didn't really stop there. She pretty much said Katie's mental health is not stable. Then, over on her Instagram story, Ashley told everyone the story was just gross, beyond words, and made it clear she does not argue with mentally unstable people. So, after all that, Katie did end up deleting the original X post. But then, she posted again, explaining she only takes down posts that have served their purpose. She basically doubled down, saying she certainly said what I said, kind of standing by it before moving on. So, this was today's update about the sexual claims and fierce denials surrounding RHIOP's Katie Rost and Ashley Darby. Let's now move on to next update.
Next, we are going to talk about the unexpected end of the engagement between Olivia Flowers and Alex Williams. Yeah, this one came as a real shock, especially since it happened just weeks before they were supposed to get married. It really caught a lot of people off guard, because, you know, they'd just been having all these public pre-wedding things. So, here's what we know. Olivia and her fiancé, Alex Williams, have officially called off the wedding and the engagement. The news actually came out via a statement from Olivia's representative on October 14th, 2025. Apparently, it was a difficult decision, wasn't made lightly, and was grounded in deep mutual respect and love for one another. The statement even said that despite calling off the wedding, Alex and Olivia remain committed to each other with a, quote, renewed sense of clarity and strength. Now these two, they got together in late 2023 after meeting at a wedding. Alex proposed in September 2024 in New York City. Olivia had previously dated Austin Kroll. What makes this super surprising is the timing, right? Like just weeks ago, Olivia was posting all about her bachelorette weekend down in Miami. She had posts up around September 24th and October 1st. And get this, literally the day before the announcement, October 13th, she posted a photo on Instagram that seemed to show her getting a kiss from Alex. So yeah, it all looked like things were full speed ahead toward the wedding, which makes this whole split kind of sudden and surprising given how happy they looked just days before. So this was today's update about Olivia Flowers and Alex Williams calling off their wedding. Let's now move on to next.
Okay, next we are going to talk about Katie Janela, and oh boy, the major drama surrounding the season 19 Real Housewives of Orange County reunion. So this whole thing really centers on a pretty intense feud, right? You've got Katie Janela claiming that Gretchen Rossi accused Tamra Judge of drugging her way back when. Now, that's a huge accusation. And, Gretchen, her husband Slade Smiley, and even Jennifer Pedranti, who was apparently there, they're all flat out denying Katie's story. Things kind of started getting messy when Katie leaked a photo of a dress, which, turned out not to be her reunion dress, but still, leaking looks early is usually a big no-no with Bravo. It definitely felt like she was trying to stir the pot early on. But the real action, well, that went down at the reunion taping itself just last week. Rumors started flying that two key people who were supposed to be there, Slade Smiley and Jennifer's fiancé, Ryan Boyajian, apparently just backed out the morning of filming. So only Katie's husband, Matt Janela, showed up from that whole group involved in the argument. This whole sudden absence, it really illuminates why people are speculating Katie might use it at the reunion, kind of asking, why didn't Slade and Ryan show if they had nothing to hide? And you can see how the rest of the cast is reacting to Katie's moves. Like on the RHOC after show, Emily Simpson basically shaded Katie, saying taking a private chat to a blogger was like a million times worse than Gretchen just trash-talking privately. Jennifer Pedranti also chimed in, kind of warning Katie to be careful with her new friendship with Tamra Judge. She suggested Tamra sometimes makes these friendships just to get dirt on rivals, like Gretchen. So this was today's update about the RHOC reunion drama. Let's now move on to the next update.
Next, we are going to talk about the major social media backlash hitting Andy Cohen right now. So the Bravo host is really getting slammed after this segment on Watch What Happens Live, his talk show. It all started because he was kind of poking fun at Stacey Rusch from The Real Housewives of Potomac. She's 53, about her breath. Apparently, that's something fellow cast member Ashley Darby brings up a lot on the show. Anyway, on Watch What Happens Live, Cohen had this game called Don't Hold Your Breath. And get this, there was even a graphic showing Stacey with green steam coming out of her mouth. He even made breath the word of the night. Kind of piled it on, right? Well, people online reacted immediately. Social media just blew up. Viewers were calling Cohen's behavior stuff like mean, unprofessional, just straight up bullying. A lot of folks said they cringed, weren't surprised, and some even called Cohen trash, saying he's making Bravo shows unwatchable. Ouch. This whole thing then snowballed into bigger concerns about the kind of behavior this encourages. Remember, Giselle Bryant had already agreed with the breath comments on Watch What Happens Live before? And then it got even more serious with people pointing out what they see as a double standard. Critics are saying, look, Cohen goes this hard on the Potomac and Atlanta casts, but he'd never do this to those white women on shows like Beverly Hills or Orange County. The argument is basically that he treats the less melanated Housewives franchises differently. So now, fans are really demanding this whole thing gets addressed, like with apologies, at the upcoming Potomac reunion.
Next, we are going to talk about that recent Real Housewives of Salt Lake City episode. The one with the luncheon that was supposed to be all love, laughter, and wine? Yeah, it didn't quite work out that way. So Whitney tried to host this nice event, even brought in an intuitive consultant, but the venue? Apparently, a former owner killed his wife and himself there. Talk about bad juju. And honestly, with all the tension already simmering, things just absolutely erupted. It really kicked off when Meredith confronted Lisa, basically asking if she'd been spreading nasty rumors about her family.
Lisa, she flat out denied it. Right away, she pointed the finger at Angie, calling her a Satan and a bully. And then, Lisa dropped this major accusation, saying Angie used someone else's credit card to pay for vacations. Whoa. Angie obviously fired back, flashing her multiple black Amexes, throwing insults about Lisa looking like she'd been in a wind tunnel, and even threatened to pull her ears back further than her facelift. Lisa just retaliated by yelling about some mysterious soup man. Honestly, wild. But wait, there's more. At the same time, Whitney spilled some tea about a private chat Jared had, making it sound like Brittana only gets back with him when she wants a vacation, basically calling her a gold digger. Brittana was completely stunned and denied it, of course. And amidst all this chaos, Bronwyn got this upsetting reading about her parents' health and was literally begging everyone to just stop fighting. Didn't happen. Oh, and the readings themselves? Lisa suggested she needs to rebuild trust with her husband, John, admitting she feels kind of alone. Then Angie actually interrupted Meredith's reading to grab a Tupperware box filled with all the gifts Lisa ever gave her. Okay.
It all ended with Lisa storming off during Whitney's reading, yelling that Angie needs to learn to apologize. Angie, still fixated on her reputation, managed to push Mary away too, with Mary declaring she was just done with Angie for questioning her relationship with Lisa. Phew. So this was today's update about the explosive RHOSLC luncheon. Let's now move on to next update.
Next, we are going to talk about the marital status of tennis legend Martina Navratilova and Julia Lamigova, especially after some pretty dramatic claims recently came out. Okay, so the whole thing kind of blew up when Julia, she's 53, admitted she had this past intimate encounter with Adriana de Mora. And, get this, she said they later fooled around again at a bachelorette party. Now, Julia explained that her wife, Martina, actually knew about it, clarifying that their marriage wasn't exactly in a great place back when that hookup supposedly happened. She also mentioned how she felt she couldn't speak the truth for like 4 years, but now she's sharing her side of things. Well, as you can imagine, this immediately kicked off some intense reports that Martina, who's 68, was seriously thinking about divorce after more than 10 years together. Word was the tennis icon felt devastated having their private stuff out there on national TV and was apparently already talking to divorce lawyers. It sounded pretty final, you know? And things were even more complicated because they recently adopted twin boys, and Julia was reportedly begging Martina to stay for the kids. But we do have a clearer picture now. It seems those high-profile split rumors just aren't true. The latest update confirms Martina Navratilova and Julia Lamigova are not getting divorced. So this was today's update about Martina Navratilova and Julia Lamigova. Let's now move on to next.